can't believe it. It's happening. It's really, really happening. I can't believe we got tickets. It feels like it's been so long, but we're finally going back to the Middle-earth Throne of Skulls tournament in November, hosted by Games Workshop at Warhammer World. That's right, we finally got tickets to get back. These things sell out like hotcakes. I had about 4 people on standby to try and get these tickets. We were in Devon as well. I had my wife, my father-in-law, my mum back home. We had Jeb, obviously, from the channel as well. And myself, so 5 people trying to get these tickets when they went live at 7 o'clock. Can I just also say that Eventbrite is not able to cope with the amount of people that want these tickets. Nevertheless, we got tickets, we got through, and it was touch and go because we had them in our basket and PayPal came up saying, hey, you'll be redirected to your pay browser. Click here to start again if it doesn't happen. And the spinny wheel kept going and kept going and kept going, all the while filling us with dread. But still nothing. And the timer is counting down for these tickets. These holy grail of tournament tickets were about to slip through our fingers. And we were terrified of pushing this button that said, please start again if you'd want not redirected within 20 seconds or 30 seconds or however long it was. But my wife decided to take the chance. We both had 2 in our basket. She took the chance, she pushed it straight through to PayPal, click pay, and off I go as well. And that's right, we got 4 tickets as Throne of Skulls, which means me, Jeb, Wayne, and our very dear friend Paul are all going to be hitting up the Middle-earth Throne of Skulls in November. And I could not be more excited. So these things sold out in 2 minutes. They went live at 7 o'clock and they were sold out by 2 minutes past 7 because I kept refreshing because I was mortally intrigued. So the great battle of our time has ended, but the great project of my time has yet to begin. Yes, so Middle-earth Throne of Skulls. I've talked about it a lot on the channel. I've done a lot of videos around it before. I was fortunate enough to be the winner of I think it was a 2022 Throne of Skulls. And it's a weekend of just amazing narrative and themey games. Nobody takes it too seriously because you get scored not only on like how you do in the games, but they put a lot of emphasis on making sure the games are enjoyable for everyone, making sure everyone's playing to the in the manner the game is meant to be played, being good sports, and just genuinely having fun. It's the most fun tournament I've ever been to, which is why these tickets are so hard to get hold of because everyone wants to go. Games Workshop, put more tickets on sale. You've got a huge haul. Why don't you put more tickets on sale? That being said, I now have to decide on a 1,000-point army to take up. It's not the same as GT. You don't have to do good and evil. It's 1,000-point army, and I wanted to document my my road to Throne of Skulls, if you will, my building of the project, my undertaking of this project to get the 1,000-point army ready for Throne of Skulls, including display boards and anything else that might go on. Just a little blog series, because why not, right? I don't also know if the edition is going to change before Throne of Skulls. I appreciate I haven't actually done a video expressing my thoughts on that yet. There will be one coming. I have not yet got all my thoughts all together for that, but that will be coming soon because we got a lot of thoughts. But whether or not the new edition drops before then, I don't know. It might completely change everything up, but I'm going to operate on the known for now. And I've decided to shortlist a couple of armies based on what I've taken before, what I know I've got, what I know I can manage and get out in the time, and also what's kind of really cool and really fun. These are doable, feasible. These aren't going to cost a stupid amount of money to put together. Are going to look really cool, fit a really good theme, and I can do a really cool display board for. Oh, the main one there as well being that they're also going to be fun to play and play against. None of this Galadriel with Boromir and Banner and all these broken, bent combinations that apparently you can do in Lord of the Rings. I've never tried. I've never wanted to try. But that's just me. So, yes, I'm going to run through these armies now, and I want to hear your thoughts on what you think would be super fun to take, and I'll go through them and my thoughts as we progress through the army lists. Okay, so army list number 1 is as follows. It is an Isengard list themed around the marching out of Isengard, and we have in this list Saruman as the army leader on horseback. He is with an Uruk banner bearer, 5 berserkers and 12 Uruk-hai warriors, 4 shields and 8 pikemen. Because if you're going to do Uruks, then you've got to do the pike blocks. Alongside that, we have an Uruk captain with a shield, with 4 shieldmen and another 8 pikes, filling out those warbands as best we can. An Uruk-hai captain with 8 crossbows. a Dunland chieftain with 8 axemen and 4 two-handed axemen. That's mainly because, you know, if it's going to be a board full of quite dark models, I wanted that real splash of really vibrant colour in there, and the red and the freehand like Nordic runes I could do on the shields I think would look really nice and really stand out in amongst all that really beaten, orky, ricky dark armour. On top of this, there is also an Isengard assault ballista, and again that's mainly just a nice little focal piece. I've already got one painted up, it's got some freehand on it, it's a pretty nice piece. It's not the horrible bent version that you get in the Legendary Legion. It is just there for shenanigans, and because I can fire into combat, you never know. We could end up spearing the wizard in the back of the in the back and drawing an end to him fairly early. And of course, Grimble Wormtongue as well. Now, my thought around this is that really cool, like themey marching out of Isengard, and I want to do an Isengard display board to go along with this. Building a portion of the Tower of Orthanc as well to have Saruman on foot and Grima standing on the little balcony, looking out over the swaths of Uruk-hai ready to descend on Rohan. And then making like the walls around the outside and some of the pits and the walkways and water wheels that are all the machinery of Isengard churning out these Uruks. That is my kind of rough idea for that. It's a lot to do, but in that regard, I've actually got quite a lot of the Uruks already painted. I appreciate the spirit of a tournament is buy brand new models and try and get 1,000 points done, but I'm looking at what's manageable whilst having a child and still trying to produce awesome content for you guys. That's kind of where my head's at with that. I think they're really cool. I think that splash of colour in amongst the really dark colours of the board and the Isengard Uruks, and like get some tea lights and kind of make flames coming up out of the or like make look there's flames happening down in the pits of Isengard. That's kind of where my head's at for that one, for Army number 1. Army number 2 is a radical change of pace from any normal army, and this has come about because I wanted to do almost a showcase, picturing or portraying some of like the key moments across the films for key characters. So I thought the Fellowship allied in with some Rivendell, and it gives you the best scope of being able to like create little mini dioramas for each of these characters. So the army in itself doesn't really have any cohesion other than the fact it's a Fellowship army and you've got all the Fellowship in there, but it's a real hodgepodge mix of sculpts and models, and it goes as such. So you have Gandalf the Grey, and I was going to do the Gandalf the Grey from the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, where he's got his sword and his staff up. Aragorn in armour, and I wanted to do Aragorn at Helm's Deep, as that's one of his key bits, key moments where he's charging through the breach of Helm's Deep. I know, I can't seem to do a tournament without touching on Helm's Deep somewhere. Legolas with armour and elven cloak, and Gimli with the cloak, and I was going to try and do the That Only Counts as One moment from the Return of the King. Boromir, just with an elven cloak, and if you're going to do a Boromir little mini diorama, it's got to be, you know, where men wept. And Sean Bean went down again. His constant penance for the fact that his first and last names just don't rhyme. Boromir fighting off the Uruk-hai on him. It just has to be. However many arrows I'm going to stick in him, I don't know, but that's the idea there. They're very pippin' and weird ones. Like, I was toying with chucking him in with Boromir and having in there the new sculpts from the Treebeard box throwing stones, which could work really well. But then I thought I could always just have them atop a Treebeard. I have to buy a Treebeard and cut them in half and do kind of like a scaled down or scaled up diorama. But have them marching through Fangorn on Treebeard's back, and then just have the throwing stone variants when they're actually on foot. Frodo and Sam, and if you're doing Frodo and Sam for this little project, it's got to be Mount Doom, where he's holding the ring over the side, and Sam is begging for him to let the ring go, and Frodo just can't do it. But that would be the scene I would pick for Frodo and Sam, because the models are painted. I mean, it's a heartfelt, wonderful, epic scene. The models are also painted. And then there's a few other models in there which I've added in just for scope, really, and to bump up to 1,000 points, because the Fellowship list doesn't actually make it to 1,000 points. You've got Bill the Pony, because everyone loves Bill. Bill is unfortunately not the warband leader, not the army leader. Apparently that honour goes to Gandalf for some reason. Why not Bill? I don't know why, but what are you going to do? Gollum as well, who can easily fit in with quite a few of these. Well, one, I guess, actually. Frodo and Sam. And then I have, I've added in some Rivendell, again, just bumped to 1,000 points, but try to keep it themey. I did try and get Elrond in at the Council of Elrond, but that was asking a little bit too much. So I thought instead I've put in Gildor and Glorian, because in the books, Frodo and Sam and I think Merry seek help from Frodo, Sam and Pippin. Sorry, get my lore right. Seek help from Gildor at the start of their journey. So I thought that would be a fun little one to add in there, and he's not a game-breaking hero, and nice and themey. And then of course there's Arwen atop Asphalloth, and I have the Arwen and Frodo mounted model, and doing For the Bruin and little diorama there with some really cool water effect. Could be quite fun. Now this is the one that's probably going to be the most challenging. Again, I have quite a lot of these models and have them already painted, which is a plus. But there's so much scope if I'm doing mini dioramas and trying to synergize that all together to tell a story. That might be a bit too much to ask, but it's a really cool idea and one that I'm definitely going to do at some point. But that is one of the army lists that made the shortlist. Army number 3 is near and dear to my heart. You guys know I love my Gondor. Absolutely love Minas Tirith. I am Mr. Minas Tirith. And I have done a Return of the King Defense of Minas Tirith list. This is one that I've already taken to a Throne of Skulls. A different variation of this list, but I have taken a Gondor Minas Tirith list to Throne of Skulls before, but I have properly themed this around the Defense of Minas Tirith at Return of the King. So we have Denethor with Pippin attached, of course, with a banner bearer and 4 Fountain Court Guard. Only 4 because there's only 4 at any point around the White Tree. None of this 20 Fountain Court with shield. No, 4. We have Gandalf on Shadowfax as he was galloping around the 7 levels of Minas Tirith. But Gandalf has got 6 Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield and 6 with spear and shield in his warband. I also have Húrin the Tall because he's just a really cool model. And he is accompanied by 6 swordsmen and 8 spearmen to make up the 15 models he can have in his warband. I also have Irolas because I really like the Citadel Guard, and he is accompanied by 10 of them. They're really cool because I've got all the freehand Minas Tirith on the back of the cloaks, which everyone's already seen, but apparently people like them, so I like to bring them out. They're not competitive, but they're nice. Beregond with 5 Citadel Guard bowmen, the only bowman in this list, and because I'm a sucker for siege engines and I really like watching shenanigans of trebuchet shots going wide and blowing up random things on the battlefield, a Gondor Battlecry trebuchet. And this is probably one of the only good models that can actually shoot into combat, not deliberately, but you can end up killing large portions of your army if a shot happens to go wide. And I love that randomness in my army. I don't go at things with a plan. I just throw things forward, roll dice, and see what happens. So yeah, this list isn't particularly as high up as some of the other ideas I've got on this list. Again, it's models I've already got done, which is a massive thing for me at the moment. But also, I don't feel like I'd get terribly infused just trying to build sections of Minas Tirith. And if there's no actual painting of models to do, I think I'd struggle to get hyped over this project a little bit. As much as I enjoy my Gondor, and my Gondor I think are very good. I've got all the cobblestone basing, I've got the freehand ministries, every bow is strung. I'm very proud of my Gondor and how they've come out, but they've been done. This would be the kind of list that I'd kind of go for if everything else fell through, I think. But it's in the short list, so let me know what you think over that. Don't worry guys, there's only 2 more lists and I'll stop talking, I promise. List number 4 is one, again, I've wanted to do for a long time. I think everyone was really hoping that the new release was going to be Numenor. I mean, the Angmar stuff is beautiful. There's a lot to be said about releasing a supplement and then immediately validating it by making a new edition of the rules, but that's not for today's video. But yeah, the Angmar stuff being very cool, but everyone's still waiting for Last Alliance. I know beggars can't be choosers, right? We've got so many models coming out, and don't worry, I'm going to be featuring as many of them on the channel as I can. That pre-order was not cheap. But I've always really wanted to do a Last Alliance army, and I kind of put this together. I kind of half started thinking about this, kind of half-assedly doing it, and it very quickly turned into a list that's actually quite feasible, I think at least. And it is as such. It is Elendil, no shield. He didn't have a shield at Daggerlad. No, he's just as he is, with a banner and accompanied by 8 Numenorian shieldmen and 9 Numenorian spearmen. He has also got a captain with a shield with 6 Numenor bowmen. And allied in with Rivendell, we've got the 2 great leaders of the houses at the Battle of Last Alliance. So we have Gil-galad, again, no shield at Daggerlad, thank you very much. No, just his big, horrible, nasty spear that hurts very, very much for a Fight Night elf. He is accompanied by another banner, 7 elf warriors and 8 elf warriors with spear and shield. That's it, that's what I'm looking for, spear and shield. And then again, another captain with a shield and 6 elf bows. So a fairly standard list, a fairly simple list, but one that I think with a decent Mordor looking board would look really cool. I've seen similar iterations. People have done like lava cracks running through the board and space things out like that really nicely. Really, really cool. I think one I saw had the mouth of Mount Doom on the board as well, which is really cool. Get some tea lights or some OSL in there, and you're looking at really lavery Mordor board. However, my scenery skills, I'd struggle to make that look fun. I think again that's one I'd get more confused about painting the models, and I'll probably end up phoning in the display board a little bit. So I don't know. Really want to do a Numenor army, and that's mainly why that's hit the shortlist, is because I really want to do one, and a tournament is the best excuse. But I don't have any of these models. Well, no, that's a lie. I have one of these models painted, and I don't really own anything else. I don't have any Numenorians. I don't have any of the High Elves or Gil-galad. So we're looking at... I've probably got a Gil-galad somewhere, to be fair, actually. But yeah, that's going to be an outlay, plus a lot of painting, plus a board. But a dream realised. So I don't know. But that is shortlist army number 4. And again, like I say, I can't apparently think about a tournament without thinking about Helm's Deep. So... shortlist army number 5 is themed around the moment where Theoden, Aragorn, Legolas, Gamling all ride out of Helm's Deep together. They take the fight to the Uruks. About a dozen guys run out in front of, well, less than 10,000 Urukai, but still a sea of black armour. So the idea would be to build like the causeway and the gatehouse. Lots of dead Uruks around the causeway where Aragorn and Gimli were chopping them up. Lots of arrows and spears and splinter wood everywhere. And have Theoden, Aragorn, Legolas, all on horseback. Gamling's on horseback. Gamling would have the royal standard. Aragorn's got armour, but nothing else. Legolas has his cloak, and I think Theoden has heavy armour. And that's it, heavy armour. Have them riding down the causeway, accompanied by 6 royal guard, mounted as well behind them. And then on the other side of the board, have the relief force of Éomer, with horse and throwing spears, because I built mine with throwing spears, so he's going to have throwing spears. I'm not buying another Éomer, just give him a sword. 10 riders of Rohan, 5 of which have throwing spears, another captain as well with a shield and horse, and 4 more additional riders. The only thing I've got an issue with here is cohesion. So I'd have to, in my mind, and this is just how my mind works, because obviously you've got the relief force of Éomer coming in to help Theoden and whatnot, I'd have to have a blob of just Urukai in the middle. And to make sure that everyone knew they weren't part of the army, I'd have to probably glue them to the base. So I'm looking at painting a fair amount of Urukai just to be in the middle between these 2 armies that aren't even relevant to the army I'm taking. And I feel like that tells more of a story rather than shows off the army. There is the option of swapping out the relief force, sticking Gimli in there and having him up by the horn, which heralds Theoden's ride out. I'd have to build that tower, but that's not as bad as some of the other things I've planned to build. And then maybe having some warriors on the wall, but at that point, at that point they're all dead, weren't they? There was no one on the walls. So yeah, if you take out the relief force and add in Gimli, you could probably squeeze Gandalf as well in there, but then you kind of lose cohesion on the board. I didn't want too many riders of Rohan coming out of Helm's Deep, because then you just lose all kind of sense of it being like the last few survivors. I haven't actually done the maths and worked out how many I could get if I took Gimli and extra royal guard over the Éomer and the captain with the relief force. I could probably do that and just make it a big causeway and just make it bigger scaled up, maybe? I don't know. But that's my shortlist army for number 5. Now I've rabbited on for a good long while now. I am so sorry. You are probably sick of my monotonous, very droning voice. But I want to document this journey of Throne of Skulls. Those are the 5 army lists I've kind of shortlisted. I've got 1 or 2 others I was toying with. I may throw them up as a little additional short or a little additional thing and be like, hi, what do you think about this? But these are the 5 that I'm probably going to pick from. And at the moment, I'm particularly torn between the Urukai and the Fellowship ones. They feel like the ones that are going to be more fun to do and be more visually impactful. I'm not just phoning it in again by taking Gondor, but I love my Gondor. I love Gondor so much. Gondor is life. But give me Fight 4 Warriors. Because Fight 3 just ain't going to cut it. No, give me Strength 4 Warriors. Please. Strength 4 Warriors. We've got Fight 4 Warriors in the Citadel Guard. That's fine. Yeah, those are, I think, the 5 lists I'm going to pick from. I'm excited to document this journey. with you guys and for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you've got any suggestions, any way to maybe like tweak the army, make them more themey, because theme is key. Don't ever forget that theme is definitely key. But yes, so I will be back with another update to this blog as and when I made a decision, and I will be showing you the progress of what we have to go and what we have left to do, and then I'll have some more finalised plans going forward. But until next time, guys, take care, and as always, thank you for watching, and happy hobbying. Bye, guys. We're going to throw the skulls!